Um, Good morning, or yeah, good morning, brothers and sisters. I'm just waking up right now. I had a really rough night. Like most nights, I toss and turn in my sleep, and I can't really relax well. Don't know what it is. I guess I just need. There's just certain ways that I can get comfortable and go to sleep, but there are a lot of times where I toss and turn in my sleep because I'm not really comfortable. God help me with that. Something that I haven't really have gotten accustomed to yet with sleep. I don't know, maybe it's the bed that I lay in, I don't know, or maybe it's just because all the frequencies that are on. So, these past couple of nights, I just turned the TV off, shut everything off my cell phone too. Um, because as long as those frequencies are there, I think it interrupts and interferes with my sleep, and I can't really sleep well. Anyways, moving on, I had a dream um, last night as I slept. And a lot of time, these past couple of days, I had dreams. And I'll forget them when I wake up, but then they'll come back to me. So if they're coming back to me, they must be very important. So, but the other one that I had is a personal one. So I'm going to keep that with myself. It's regarding my daughter that the state took from me. So I'm going to keep that to myself. I believe God is going to bless me to see her again. I have no doubt about it. But I'm going to go into detail regarding the dream I had last night. It's of a different nature. I had a dream, and it's funny. I left the church. I don't go to church anymore, as I stated in one of my last videos. I do not go to church anymore. You know, um, I've seen the light for myself that God is not present there. I've seen the light for myself that those who claim to be of the faith are not. I have seen the light for myself that anybody who worships Christ is of the devil. You know, anybody who worships Christ is worshiping the devil, period. And you can see it manifest in their lifestyle. So I am done with the whole church thing. But excuse me, moving on from there, um, about the dream. So I had a dream that I was going to a church. Um, I think the scene started out where there was worship going on, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really participating. I think I was just sitting down and watching. I wasn't really even joining in, I don't think. I was just observing. Kind of like I felt like I was there but not there. You know what I mean? So I was just observing, watching, and I don't know. I got to a point where I acted as if I was one of them. As if I was one of them, but I knew off back I wasn't. And I'm gonna tell you why in a little bit. But I'm observing the congregation. It seems like everybody's just singing, happy, shouting. Um, the church looked rather huge or big, but anyways, fast forwarded. We just went to a regular normal service, and then it was the end of it. And for some reason, I go off into one of the back rooms. I don't know if it's a back room or kitchen. It looked like a kitchen. I guess I went to go get me a snack or something because some churches actually provide food. So I went to the back to get a snack. Looks like that's what it looked like in the dream. Like I was going back there searching for something or searching for something to eat. That's what I felt in the dream. And then there were, and I was heading in the direction of the sanctuary, and then there was it looked like a side door to me that came through the sanctuary. And there were these guys in purple attire. You know what they remind me of when I see them IUIC guys that wear that purple with the with the long flowing robes, the purple and silver robes, because it looked just like them, you know. And they were black men. Anyway, there was one guy who pulled out a sword. He pulled out a sword. Before you even think, he pulled out a sword. And he saw me in the sanctuary because I was just staring. I don't know, I was just coming out from anywhere, but I just happened to run into them. And they were telling me to leave and pushing me out. Like they didn't want me in to witness something. Like they were hiding something. Like they wanted me out right away. Like they was pushing me out the door. Like, you need to be out. You can't be in here for what we're getting ready to do. I don't know what was going on, but it wasn't right. And I swear, I don't know if there's like 2 sanctuaries in this building. This building must be huge. Because it was like, this is a whole different sanctuary where I was at. I think there was another sanctuary. I mean, there's churches that have, the regular sanctuary, and then you have the temple, or what they call it, the chapel. There's churches that have a main sanctuary and a chapel. And I've been to churches like that, where there's a sanctuary, big sanctuary, and then there's the chapel. And the chapel's like more of a private room for people who want to just pray to God and be in silence. And I think this is like one of those rooms, like this is probably a chapel, or a temple, more resembled. But they were pushing me out. They were pushing me out of here. And one of the guys I seen that was wearing purple, and he had on a turban. They had on a turban too, like some kind of purple turban. I kid you not. This is what I seen. They had on a purple turban with a sword in his hand. His eyes were like black all the way across. There was no white shown. I mean, his eyes were wide open, but all of this was black. I mean, it was some scary crap to see. His whole eye, there was no white shown. Like, there was a full-fledged devil or demon in him. Like, it was, if he was a person, the person that was there, something took it over. Like, something took over his whole body. Like, he wasn't operating anymore. If he was a person there, it was like, I seen the blacks in his eyes, and it was the scariest thing. So it was a lot of them coming out the room. It wasn't just him. It was like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of them. And they were getting assembled, for something. So when I see that, I'm like, I gotta get out of here. It's time for me to go. I am done. I'm leaving. I will never return here again. Never return here again. So, as I'm leaving, I hear what sounds like a woman's voice. And it sounds like she's saying, let me out of here. And then I just hear struggle. I hear what sounds like a struggle. I really do. I hear what sounds like a struggle. And I hear like thumps, boom, 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 boom. That's what I hear. And it's just, when I heard that, it was over. It broke my heart. Because I already knew what it was. When he pulled out that sword, I knew what it was. And that's when the Spirit dropped me. It was like, they are doing blood sacrifices in the church now. And when I heard that, I was done. I was done. I mean, I was succumbed with grief about it, because I was just tore up inside. I saw a cab, but I didn't call it a cab. I knew it was for someone else outside of the building. I was so distraught about what I heard and what I seen. I didn't even take the cab. I just walked home. I said, I don't care how far it is. I'm going home. I will never return back here again. I will never walk into a church again. And it's funny because I'm already that way anyway, but the dream that I had, I don't know if it was someone else that was witnessing this. I don't know if God just wanted me to see, because maybe the feeling of me wanting to go back to church is still there a little bit, because I'm so used to assembling at church. But I've come to the realization that God is not there. I've come to the realization that anybody who worships Christ is a devil. Anybody. I've come to the realization that I was deceived into worshiping Christ. And I have completely forsaken that. Completely. Because that's the slave master's God. And it was given to us to overthrow us as a people, as a nation, so that we can serve the white man. And I already knew that. I know that now. And I thank God that I am awoken. But that dream was a huge wake-up call to me about not going back to church ever. Because they're going to do blood sacrifices right in the church. It'll go from being, and you know where Hollywood is, because Hollywood does it all the time with sacrificing. You know, they're sacrificing just to get fame and fortune. But now it's going to start happening in the very churches that people are setting themselves in, and they don't even know they could be targets for sacrifice and don't even know it. You know, this could be an innocent. This could be one of the members in the church. I do not know. But it was a wake-up call to me, and it was a horrible thing that I witnessed, that God allowed me. I mean, and I didn't see it. I guess God wanted to protect my eyes from what I was going to see. I don't know what was happening, but I knew that's what was happening, because God dropped it in my spirit and told me that they were doing blood sacrifices in the churches. Not just at that moment. He was telling me they're going to start doing blood sacrifice in the churches now. And that's the scariest thought ever, people. And I just want to wake y'all up and tell y'all to come out of them churches, because they could be doing blood sacrifices in your church and you could be a target for it. So I'm going to let you know now that the devil is going to inhabit some of them to do that. To do that. I think there are something in the movies too. There are signs in all movies. Movies tell you about blood sacrifices all the time. They're going to go as far as to make believe that God requires a blood sacrifice. That God requires it. And as a result, a lot of these churches are going to do just that, provide them with it. And then start choosing people. And it's going to be a scary thing. You see it in movies all the time where they like, okay, well, they talk about needing somebody that is pure, somebody that has pure blood, or somebody they need something that's pure that they can sacrifice to their demon god. I mean, think about it. Or something, they're looking for something specific of who they can sacrifice to their demon god that would bring him glory and edification. That's just some sick and twisted stuff, okay? It's just sick and twisted. They're already trying to let you know that through this Christ crucified figure, that's what he was, a blood sacrifice, right? They lying, talking about he was sacrificed for the sins of the entire world. God ain't even coming back to save the whole world. He's coming back to save the children of Israel. He's not coming to save the whole goddamn world. There's going to be a lot of the world is going to be utterly wiped away and perish. A lot of them going to be tossed headlong into the lake of fire. Even some of our very own Israelites are going to be tossed in the lake of fire. Come on now. You really think Christ came and sacrificed himself for the entire world so that the entire world can make it to heaven? No. Too many people going into the lake as it is. No way. It's a lie. All this stuff was to introduce blood sacrifice. And now they're going to do it, and they're going to start doing it. Instead of animals, it's going to be humans. It's going to be humans. Maybe that opens up the door, talking about the whole beheading. The whole beheading. It makes sense. The whole beheading of those who worship Christ. The whole beheading. If you are in the church, you're going to be the first one lined up for a blood sacrifice. Come out of the church, please. Christ did not come to die for your sins. There's only one God and there's only one Savior. And that is the God of Israel, the Elohim of Israel. There is no God beside him. There is no other God. Okay? If we keep worshiping this man or this falling star or this what they call bright morning star, Jesus, Lucifer called himself a bright morning star. Hello? That's the same two people. If we don't come up out of the churches, you just have no idea what awaits you. It's all about sacrifice. All who follow Christ are going to be sacrificed. All. Sacrificed. Do you know what sacrifice means? They're going to pour your blood out. Pour your blood out upon the ground. I'm telling you what I seen. The guy had a sword in his hand, pulling it out. And like I said, I heard a woman's voice out there telling them to let her out, and they wouldn't. And I just heard her struggle. And I already knew what was going on. They were killing her, putting her to death. That's what they were doing. They were going to put her to death as a sacrifice to the God, to the demon God, or as I say, to Lucifer, their God. Because those black men had this, like I said, this was completely black. Something else took over those men. And it's funny because it wasn't no white men I seen. It wasn't no white man. This was all black church I walked into. This was all black church that God had me to see in my dreams. It was all black. All blacks. That was some scary shit for me. Excuse my French for cussing. God, excuse my profanity. That was some scary stuff for me to witness. And I already knew. And they pushing me out of there. They did not want me to view that. They and God. So they're trying to hide this from public view or public sight. And it's a good thing I wasn't lined up better for it. But God protects his own. Thank the Lord. And I just thank God. God is telling me they're getting ready to do it in the churches. Start doing blood sacrificing. And sooner or later, once it's welcome in the church, they're doing it outside the church. Guess what? Now they can publicly start doing them. It's going to start being a public thing where they just going to sacrifice people. Those who work against it. That's what it's going to be about. Those who are against this satanic agenda. We're going to be the ones they target. They're going to target the people that aren't for it. So, we just got to be... we got to be careful because all that stuff that it talked about in the book of Revelation, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. The people who are Christians, though, you going to be. Why did it say those who, why did it talk about those by the blood of, those who were beheaded for the blood of the Lamb? The blood of the Lamb? You better be careful about that. All Christians. You're going to be a sacrifice. Have you ever thought about why it says be a living sacrifice? Hello? Y'all singing songs like that? I'll be a living. Walk as a living sacrifice. Worthy and acceptable? Worthy and acceptable of what? Your blood to be shed? Think about it. Hello. I'm just trying to tell y'all. Anyways, I ain't going to take too much of your time. But God is not for it. I'm going to tell you that now. That's not what God is. God is coming back to save Israel. That's what he was after. The shedding of your blood. The shedding of blood. Isn't there enough blood that been shed of our people by the hands of the slavers? Excuse me. I'm calling them just what they are. Slavers. Slave masters. The ones who enslaved us. All these nations around the world who enslaved us. How they work together to keep us enslaved. Please. I think enough of our blood has been shed upon the ground, okay? We don't need to be sacrificing our blood. That's not why God came. That's not what God told us to do. That's not why God called us. And the only reason why we're in this position is because we turned our back on God. And now we're knowing who the enemy is. And we are the ones. Our people had that habit of lusting after the other nations and wanting what the other nations have, or wanting to join with them and wanting to be a part of the other nations' gods and the other nations' parties and things, like it was better than what we had with God. Now we know, don't we? Now we know why God told us to separate ourselves from them. I'm just telling y'all, sacrificing the blood is going to start. They're going to start sacrificing people. People. They're already doing it in Hollywood. We hear about it all the time. Sacrificing their sons and their daughters and their mothers and anybody they know who they're kin to, who is closest of kin. If you sacrifice your mother or your father, you are a dog and you deserve to die. Sorry to say it like that. And you gonna have a horrible fate waiting for you. Because if you can sacrifice your mother and your father, you can sacrifice anything. You can kill your mom and your daddy, or set your mom and your dad to be killed. You deserve to be stoned to death. Sorry to say it. And you better be lucky those aren't those times we're living in. Because back in those times, if you was evil, or you even had a hint of evil in you, if you did anything remotely in that direction, like murder, kill, anything, any kind of curse was in your house, they would stone you to death. The whole town and the city would stone you. You would not be living by the end of it. But because evil is allowed to be roaming around here for free, and they don't get no judgments because of the way it's set up. That's the only reason why you can still breathe the breath you're breathing right now. But if God want to touch you, he will. And I think the reason why God hasn't touched you yet, because he's saving you for a worser fate. A worser fate. So I'm just saying, all these churches, y'all need to come up out of them. All of our people, all of you Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, come up out of these churches. Because for one, these white people are going to sacrifice you anyway. They've been sacrificing us for decades. They've been killing us and murdering us in the streets. So please come up out the churches, because you think they won't hesitate for a second, and then they're using our brothers and sisters in there as an infiltration to get after you, okay? To get after you. So come up out of these churches, because like I said, the blood sacrifice is going to start in there now. God help you. Anyways, God, I thank God for giving me this warning dream. Maybe he wanted me to share it for a reason, to warn some of you people, some of our people who are still in those churches, to come up out of there. If you're still in it, just like that man Tyrone Muhammad, I appreciate him. Even him was going in there warning the women to come up out of these Chinese shops, because they don't have no respect for our people. They sitting here doing whatever to our people. How much of a sacrifice do you need, okay? And it's going to be just like that in the churches, okay? You can get a warning from somebody and you're still going to go. Still going to carry your behind up in the church, okay? You can get a warning from somebody. Come up out of there. Judgment is about to rain down on this place. It's just like that Tyrone Muhammad guy who went in there and busted them windows out. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother, for standing up for your people. There is not a lot of men who will do that. If you get a warning from somebody, take heed to that warning. It's a lot of prophets in these latter days that are coming out and telling you to come up out of there. Come up from among these damn heathens. Come up from among these people. Because they don't love us. We're going to be the first ones they sacrifice. They don't give a damn about our people, okay? Churches don't, apparently. They ain't doing nothing to save us. They ain't doing nothing to help us. And we're still in our same situation and plight. Come up out of there, okay? The devil is in these churches. God is not there. Anyways, I'm going to get up off this channel. I'm done. I told my dream. I've told my warning. I gave you the warning. I gave you the warning message. I'm not no prophet. I'm not no pastor. I ain't trying to be one. Okay? Okay. I done said this before. I'm not nobody's prophet or pastor or teacher. I'm a lady. I'm a woman that loves my own and try to warn the children of Israel. Those who heed the warning. Those who will heed the warning. If you don't, okay, go back to church. Hey. If you're on the slab of the altar being sacrificed, then you know. If you end up in hell because you've been serving Christ most of your days thinking that he is God, then you'll know. I'm sorry. Because you're already a sacrifice then. You're already sheep prepared for the slaughter. Get it? I said my piece. Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel. May God be with you. Kingdom of heaven is nigh at hand. Repent. Come about the churches. Shalom.